listening into some of my friends last night about some interesting people changing their support or endorsements, if you will, in our politics. They've and it's the fact that they've made the announcement in such a manner, in such a cop-out manner, which tells you that all of this was a ruse as an excuse to give people that want to terminate without good reason because they can't admit they're horrible people. So both Mark Zuckerberg and Jeff Bezos, as I understood it, I think it was Jeff Bezos, but definitely Mark Zuckerberg, they've announced that they are throwing in their support for Trump based on one, rationalization. They were impressed or moved by the way he handled his assassination attempt. Right? So they have decided to give credence to the wrestling production that we call the I don't know what the hell we're gonna fucking call. I don't know if it has a fucking name. It's just a failed assassination of Trump or whatever. It's not a very catchy name, right? As opposed to saying the assassination of Trump, right? It's probably a catchy word for failed assassination. That would make for a good title, but I'll be damned if I know it. Hey! No blessing, Slick. I've told you this, Mr. Linguist. Do not make me be less of anything. I am bestowed. So, bestow me! Bestow me up, champion. So yes, be on the lookout for Slick and I. Oh, Slick, I didn't hear back from you on Telegram, or I didn't notice. You gotta tell me right now. When's our thing? It's next Monday, right? Not tomorrow, but next week. Slick and I are gonna get together, and we're gonna do a video on the Holy Mountain. I've talked a little bit about Jodorowsky's Holy Mountain after I saw it, and because it is an Enneagram-heavy film, I said I gotta show this movie to Slick. And I blew Slick's mind, and we're gonna be doing a deep occult dive. Yes, so we're gonna be doing this awesome occult dive on Jodorowsky's The Holy Mountain. And like one of the reasons why I picked this is because the reason why I saw it originally is that. I know for a fact that the lower arcana bestowment, that's a bestowing when he's giving him all of the lower arcana items, right? You know, to will, to dare, to be silent, yada yada yada, right? That scene is in a segment in the Mystery School I'm initiate of, with the Temple of the White Dragon, Seth Compose's Mystery School. So I was always intrigued because it's just like I'm very particular now, right? Like if you were to listen to old Steve, especially when I was Steve Travesty, I was still working things out on a very, very just meta world level, just trying to understand this world and what might be the other side. Now I have a great idea of what the other side is, so I don't do film as much as I used to. I used to do a whole lot of that. I used to fucking get lit every fucking year when a Marvel film came out because it was soft disclosure time. I can't wait to talk about this on the internet and tell people the conspiracy and show them how the film is helping us see it, right? But because nobody wanted to listen to the de-occultists, they only lived in that little fucking world, which they sort of understood was real because Captain America, the Winter Soldier, did a great job doing and being what it was going to be. Hey, what's going on? What movie is The Mountain? It's called The Holy Mountain by Alejandro Jodorowsky. 1973? I think it's 73 it came out. That film. It's not super long. It's super strange. It's super eccentric. It's got a little bit of everything, which makes it inherently funny. Because it jumps around, but it's got action, it's got comedy, it's got horror, drama. Like it runs all the emotions. It has to. I mean, it's not just an Enneagram movie; it's a tarot movie, right? So you're seeing the tarot archetypes, you're seeing the planetary archetypes, which are going to be one and the same, effectively. You know, Mercury and the Hermit, or Mercury and the Magician, so on and so forth. Although the Hermit is probably more of Pluto when you think about it. And we didn't even have Pluto as the 9th planet when they were choosing the alchemy that they were going to correspond to tarot in the development of tarot. Pluto was discovered in like the 20s or the 30s or something. It was like preceding the Holocaust, because then the Holocaust happened, and that's a very kind of Pluto thing to happen, right? Am I a liberal? I am free, therefore I cannot be a liberal. You may hear a liberal thing come out of my mouth, but I am not a liberal. You may hear a conservative thing come out of my mouth. I am not a conservative. So those labels don't mean anything with me, because I am not programmed by anyone other than myself. I program myself. I make my own personal, conscious, deliberate, awakened choices. I am not interested in groupthink or public approval or anybody's approval. If approval is there, then that's great, and then friendship can be established, trust can be established. Otherwise, you would be wiser to know that although somebody could be choosing to operate in liberal stereotype, not even an archetype, it's a fucking stereotype. That's why you get the NPC label out of these people, because they stereotype themselves. Okay? So, if you're going to be the stereotype liberal, the stereotype conservative, then people are going to treat you like that. And it's one of the many ways that different people treat people that don't have personalities. If you don't have a personality, then you look for a group to tell you who and what you are. And, you know, the lesson we're not told is that it's okay to, like, go with a group and see how you like it. And, you know, but don't get your personal identity wrapped up into it. And know that some people will only care about you because of that. And learn to approve of yourself before you go off trying to make friends with other people. You know, self-love, self-approval, etc., etc. Okay, hold on a second. Let me see here. Amp that up. Yes, I can. Okay. So, at any rate, so Jodorowsky's The Holy Mountain with I and Slick Dissident. Otherwise, my other original point was about those power shifts that are changing, right? Which is good that we talked about the liberal conservative, right? Because, now that we're in the election year, one of the things that you can see is you get the general attitude of the cult of the Republican Party, the cult of the Democrat Party, right? You get to see the dichotomy that they play off of each other with little pretense, right? Because you've never paid as much attention before, but with the absurdity of things like the ear diaper, right? Which they got that look in their eyes, which takes it so damn seriously, and at the same time, they're not admitting that they're performing magic, right? It's sympathetic magic. It's literal sympathetic magic. They wear that because of how much they absolutely love him and see that he is suffering. He feels a little embarrassed, because it's this ridiculous thing on his head, and and everyone's just like, look, make you feel better, right? And it's the same thing. It's just like you don't want to go out in a silly costume, and then like the person you respect most in the world comes out in a silly costume with you, and you're just like, all right, now it's like we can play off of each other, and I know how to play off of it with you, and you know how to play off of the crowd that I'm afraid of, right? That's all aspects of sympathetic magic, right? So Trump used sympathetic magic, and given the amount of time that has passed, because if Zuckerberg really cared about how he handled it, he would have fucking just said it. He would have just said it, right? He didn't have to say support or anything like that, but he could have said on day one. He could have said, wow, that was something, President Trump, that, you handled that well. And that's all you had to say. That any one of these guys that's flipping right now, they could have said that the day that it fucking happened. But no, they waited. They waited to see how public reaction would be, right? And what was the real public reaction? They waited till it was absolutely safe. And how did they test this? With some of the biggest fools in liberalism. Tenacious D. They decided to put Tenacious D up on the chopping block and said, good luck, let's let Kyle run his fucking fat mouth. Right? That's what they fucking said. And it didn't poll very well. As well as him having the only thing he could say was a line that's technically illegal, because anything that you say that is adjacent to saying that you want to kill whomever the leader of the state is, right? It is illegal to say that. You can only say that to tell people it's illegal, right? It's the only time you can say that is if that you make sure to context it that way. Unless you are staging a fake performance, a fiction or whatever, like you're filming a movie or whatever, and then everything is fine because you're doing this whole thing, right? And if it matters to anybody at all, it's like it's not a problem to fucking just show that to a judge and it won't even go to trial, right? It's something so fucking simple. Like, there's very few things you can fucking do in this fucking universe that are absolute limit of freedom of speech in these United States. That is one of them. Everything else is a lot of anal retentive people that control their own little pockets within the United States, because the government can't control speech, meaning they can't control how you control speech. And that also is good, because how many of us like a well-managed Facebook page? Mark Zuckerberg doesn't manage a well-managed Facebook page. You do. You set the terms and conditions of speech on that page every fucking day. And there are conversations about what kind of conversation you can have on your platform every fucking day. Mark Zuckerberg, who is the fucking, magistrate of social media, at least in these United States, because nothing seems to be a fucking viable substitute. Unfortunately, MeWe is got too much. It's like you can't be Wild West and have social media internet in a way that's going to be important. You can have it for yourself. It's like, because you're going to the sticks, right? Facebook is the city. Fucking MeWe is like the sticks. It's fun in the sticks. Nobody listens to anybody from the sticks. Are you able to talk like you are from Facebook? Right? So this is the world. This is the new fucking world. Right? As far as this level of conversation. Because otherwise, I don't think anything's really that fucking different when they talk about, and you know what happened? Now people aren't talking to each other because they're texting and da-da-da-da-da. And it's like, yeah, I think that was freedom for people. I think that was freedom for people. I think people didn't realize the nerves that they were under with all manner of this is why social distancing was so desired by everybody too. We are socially exhausted. We are psychically exhausted of ourselves. At least the way the last era before 2020 is that we had become completely exhausted with every manner in which we socially organized ourselves, because the new generations were coming in as such a completely different socially structured animal. And this fucking animal needed it needed a new pen, right? It needed new parameters for its living conditions, right? The bad guys want to do all sorts of weird fucking things to you in your life. And they've got two sides to that coin they're happy to play off of. And several false sides that will just collapse into one of the main two, which all serve the original one. And it's, even if you don't know what the fuck is going on, if you pay attention to how everything ever ends up looking at it, that's just how things always end up. And there's very little wisdom that got us there. The main reason why things change is that, they can't get a hold of everything usually, right? Eventually, the spirit of witch hunting the drug user has been destroyed. It's not just pot, it's the drug user in general. Now that is actually a very good thing because of the good arguments that were made. Because they're still going after criminals. It's acknowledging already the fact that you are not a criminal because you are interested in exploring drugs. And we've made space in our fucking world for people to do that. You can go places just to hang out and smoke. You can go places just to hang out and shoot up. You can go to places just to hang out and get drunk. Pop a pill. And they're set up to be the safest way to do the stupid thing. Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna hit the gym. And so just to wrap things up about the exchange of power, it's like I've said, the main thing that Main reason why the Hegelian dialectic works on you is because you think the event is the causality. It's not. Things are not being caused because of the event. Things are not happening because Donald Trump was almost shot, or are happening because Donald Trump decided to stage a shooting. Things, the shooting was staged, so therefore it could be announced the decisions that were already made. That's always the way that this plays out. And it can even be a question. It's just, was Don in on it? Was it just a blading operation, right? There's very weird ways that all of this could be. With Mr. Composure over there. We've had some crazy shit happen with other similar kinds of patsies. You take a look at this guy, and you look at his face. You look at the facial expression he makes. You can tell he's not intelligent. You can tell he's got incel written all over him. All right. So yeah. So the more you do the work to be one whom can take care of oneself and can make the sacrifices and know that it still takes more work and it still takes a lot of sacrifices. If you're younger than me, stop fucking complaining. I'm 44. If you're older than me, stop complaining because you've wasted half of your life. I'll catch you guys later.